Okay, so now you want to go to your micro SD card. The best thing to do if it's a new one, or even if it's an old one, is to format it. So formatting it, you want to make sure it's in file system NTFS, capacity leave as is, quick format. This will clean everything off, so do make sure that you save anything. And then you just hit start, and that will say, do you want to format the disk? Click OK to quick cancel, OK that. And eventually it will have formatted the disk. So now it's ready for you to put the image file over onto the micro SD card, which you can then put into your Raspberry Pi. So let's see how we do that. So you want to go to openmediavault.org, and when you go there, it's hit this button here, which is download, or this button there, download, and then you'll find that you'll get to the installation images can be found here. So these are the images you need for your Raspberry Pi, and then you'll have a whole series of different images. So you've got Android ones. You want to look for the Raspberry Pi images, which is a little bit down on the folder, and then you'll have several. So you need to be a bit careful here, but really for most of the Raspberry Pi you'll get the Open Media Vault for Raspberry Pi 2, Pi 3, which is at the top, but you just want to make sure, depending on when you're looking at this, they may have updated these, and therefore you just want to check that you're looking at the right one. So you know, this wouldn't be suitable, this one down here, for the Pi 3, and it's a bit of an old version, and you can find some description down here about what it is, but really the top one is the one that you want. So you click on that, and then what will happen is that will start once it goes through the adverts and all those kind of things, and that's now showing me that it's downloading onto my computer. Okay, so we'll come back to that once it's downloaded. Okay, so you've got your GZ file, so that is a zipped file, so now you need to find something that will unzip that. Now you may already have something on your computer, such as WinZip, WinRAR. This is the one that I use, winzip.com/win/en, but if you just go to winzip.com, and then you can just download the latest WinZip 21. Now that shouldn't take too long to download. Once it has, then you open the file, click yes, you want to run that, and then that will install that bit of software for you. Okay, and let me install that, and then we'll come back to how you extract the files that you need. So now that you've downloaded WinZip, open it up. I'm using an evaluation version, which would be fine for what we need, and then you may see something different because it might be a slightly different version, but it's ultimately the same kind of thing. You need to find now the file location, so I've got it onto downloads, and then you find that, open up the zip, and then it'll open up all of the different images. So that's what you're after, is the image file. Okay, and then from there you can then go, I want to share the selected file, and you want to one-click unzip, and what that does is that will extract that image file, that IMG, into the same folder location. So if you've downloaded it into the GZ file, the WinZip file, it will then extract that into the same location, and once it's extracted, then you'll need to flash that, copy that onto a micro SD card, and we'll show you how to do that next. So while it's doing that, let's stop and wait for that to download and show you how to do the next bit. Okay, so now that you've extracted the file, you need to flash it onto the SD card, and the best bit of software for that is Etcher, which is what Raspberry Pi recommends. So it's https://etcher.io, and then for me here, download for Windows 64. So now what you do is you download Etcher, and once that's downloaded, then you can flash the image. So now we've downloaded Etcher, what you need to do is find where the image file is. So once you've selected the image file, so that's the WinZip there, you don't want to select that, you want to select the image file itself. Then you open that, and then you want to find the location where you can zip it to, and this is your SD card. So your SD card needs to be plugged into your laptop. So the SD card, which we formatted earlier on, continue that, and then hit the flash button. And it really is that simple. Then eventually, and it seems like it takes a little while, it'll eventually give you a progress bar, and this takes quite a while. So what this is doing is it's taking that image file from your hard drive and it's flashing it onto that SD card. Yeah, it will eventually get there, I do promise. So here you go. So just to check you've got all the connections. So you've got the Ethernet, you've got your keyboard, your USB keyboard, you've got a HDMI in the bottom there, and then you've got your SD. And now at this point, this is where you plug in the power adapter. So let's see if I can do this one-handed. Hold on 1 second. Right, power on. The red light will come on and then the green light, and then what happens is, after you've flashed it onto your SD card, you want to find the Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi must be connected onto your network, and you can find the IP address, but usually it's something like this, so 192.168.1.112. You may have to log in, and that is admin and password. And what you want to be doing here is looking for okay, so now you've started using Open Media Vault, you want to do some kind of housekeeping, so changing the time, make sure it's to local time. Although these aren't important, it's quite useful, so when you start using this it gives you the correct time. And every time that you hit save on anything, it'll usually tell you that you need to apply changes. Make sure you hit apply every time. So that's so when you've hit apply, the other thing to remember is at this point you want to plug in the USB drive into your Raspberry Pi. So once you've plugged into your USB drive that you want to be the drive that you use to access on your network, go to physical disks, scan it, and once you've scanned for it, then you want to wipe it clean. You don't necessarily need to do this, but it's a good thing to do anyway, because then the Raspberry Pi will be able to find it. Obviously ensure that you don't have anything on it. It's important because it will clear it, and what that's doing is it's clearing the USB drive ready to be used so that you can find it on your local network. So any device that's attached to your wireless network will be able to now find that drive. So now that's on there, now that you can see it in your list, the next bit is to go to users, because what you want to do is you want to ensure that anyone who's connected to your network is able to see the physical disks. And this is where you want to add your users, so you'll add a username. So by default there's no one in there, so here we'll type in the username and password. And this is important because this will give access to people when you then they can see your network. That's gone wrong because obviously the default is admin and password, so let's just change that to admin1, that will do. And what that means is anyone who finds the disks will be asked to put in their username and password, but you can change their privileges as well. So make sure you go here, because by default it's set to off, so you can change it to read write, read only, etc. And that's quite important because you may want certain people on your network to only be able to read files and other people to be able to copy to, delete, all those kind of things. So now you want to go to shared folders on your USB drive, and you should be able to find the shared folder that you want to create on your NAS drive. Now on the drive you can create different folders, and then from there click, if you want to access it on Windows, click on the Windows symbol, the SMB symbol, and make sure that that's on, and save that, and again it'll ask you to apply those settings. Again, check that you've got the option on for sharing of the folder location, so the drop down there will be able to tell you where your folder location is. Again, it should say to you to make sure you save all these settings, and now when you go onto your network you will be able to find your Raspberry Pi, and this is in Windows, so there you've got your share folder, and okay, there's only one file in there, but that's it. So now anyone can see those files if they're on the network and they have access rights, and going on from there it means that you'll be able to upload files on there or download files from there, and because it works on Windows you can do it via your Windows laptop. You can also turn on FTP option if you want to use it on your Android phone. If you want to use it on your Apple phone, then you can use File Explorer app, which is pretty good. But that's it. So I hope that's helped. Please subscribe, please like. Our aim is to try and make fun and enjoyable projects by hacking devices out there, and we found it was tremendously useful, or I found it tremendously useful to hack our NAS, our Raspberry Pi, to make it into a NAS drive. So please come back with any questions and comments. Thanks.